Good evening, everyone. I'm working as a senior associate in Moss Mutual. It's a senior associate data. I do handle the Informatica MDM, which is a master data management tool. And along with that, I have experience on Informatica PowerCenter, which is an ETL tool. The secondary skill sets are SQL, shell scripting. And along with that, I do have experience on reporting tools like Oracle Business Intelligence, Enterprise Edition, and Tableau reporting. I have exposure to data warehousing tools like Teradata, Oracle, Excel, and Tex. And I have experience on multiple domains like services sectors like railways, telecom domain, and then healthcare, and finance domain, presently working in finance domain. So coming to the technologies, why we have to go for Informatica MDM. So basically Informatica MDM, it's like a master data management solution which is a multi-domain, which offers different metadata management solutions like products, customers, and supplier chains. Here why we go for Informatica MDM is like organizations have different sets of data, gets the data from different source systems, or it's like external source systems, so through web applications, internal applications, or else like through offline applications. So different set of data comes into the organization, and different applications handle the data like customer relationship management, CRM, marketing. So different applications gets the data and then loads into our organization. So like, so to get the single source, like trusted data, single source of truth, or else like a golden copy or master copy of a data, every organization has different sets of metadata like customers, like organization has customers and their products information and their employees information. So everything, like, so each and every department has some set of source of data, and then there may be chances of that like data coming into the organization in, and like I can say, suppose like different consider the marketing team. So marketing team gets the data from, I can say, web applications, or else like through apps, mobile apps, different source we get the data. But here depends upon the source of application, the data enters into the organization. Suppose if like some customer may enter a full address for an application, in another application he may enter full name, or else like just nickname, and the address may he enter full address or partial address. So as the organization has different applications, and it has to serve the purpose for different downstreams like operations, sales, marketing, and the business operations team. So all these teams or applications should have one single trustworthy of data. So where can we get that single trustworthy of data, as the organization gets data from different source of applications? So to get the single source trustworthy of data, so MDM, here MDM comes into picture. It solves the problem. For an example, suppose consider a name, like a name, my name. So I write my name as ROHITH, or else some other people may write ROHIT, and sometimes I write full name, sometimes I write only first name, sometimes I write like a missing of middle name. Along with that, I may enter full address or partial address. So if you consider a name insurance based data, so the insurance firm may offer different products like life insurance, term insurance, mutual funds, or annuities, different sets of products. So if here the customer may enter the data, like may choose different products, like suppose he has chosen life insurance and then annuities. So sometimes like he may enter full information or else a partial information. So like in order to analyze the like how the customer behavior pattern, like which products is the customer is more choosing, or else like how, what is his behavior pattern in terms of products. So in order to analyze these types of details, so the organization should have some centralized metadata of the customers. So if we don't have the centralized metadata of or else a golden copy of a customer, so like it ultimately leads in wastage of money. Like, so as per the KPMG survey, like in a year, medium to bigger organization lost 15 millions of dollars per annum due to this lack of quality of data, or else the single trustworthy of data. To gain all these return on investments, we have master data management solutions. In that, like Informatica is one vendor. Here, the data, like MDM provides the data consistency, like it synchronizes all the source systems data and stores in one centralized repository database that we call as a golden copy or a single source of truth. So based upon this data, that I can say like different applications like operations teams, sales teams, or business decision making teams can take reference of this customer data or else product data, and then they perform their decisions, like for reporting, like if they don't have the single point of source of data, so it's very difficult for an business team to take a call on a particular customer, like whether these let's suppose the customer, like two customers are exist but both are single customer only, but business team does not know that whether the two customers are single source of customer or else like different customers. So like here the it may leads to the confusion and ultimately leads in loss, can say money indirectly, like promoting any products or else like approaching the customers for their product features demonstration, all these things. So to avoid all these things, like Informatica MDM comes into picture. Here, what Informatica MDM will do, like, so we get data from different source systems, and we may get data, duplicate data from the same source system or multiple source systems. So Informatica MDM has some set of rules which it follows, matching rules and merging rules. So based upon the setting of matching and merging rules, Informatica identifies the customer patterns, and then it stores in as a single customer or a unique different customers, depends upon the strategy which we apply in Informatica MDM. So here, coming to the course outline, here we discuss about Informatica MDM introduction, like what is the architecture, how it performs. So coming to the architecture, it's a service oriented architecture. It do have different applications within Informatica MDM, suppose like cleanse server, application server, which application server handles the request from the source, and cleanse server handles the matching and merging mechanism. Every master data management project has some set of data model, like its party data model, customer data model, and then here there are some set of tables or the driver tables, like mostly the party table is the driver table, and then corresponding the child tables are related to that driver tables. Here the data model contains like parent tables, child tables, along with the reference tables nothing but lookup tables which are used to look up the some sort of codes or state codes, country codes, and channel codes. Coming to the stage plus, like in Informatica MDM, like how we design the data flow is like Informatica MDM has some set of landing tables, and then stage tables, and then base object tables. The ultimate final set is base object tables, which contains the golden copy or single source of truth or else like master copy of data. So to get load to attain this master copy, so in like we have to follow series of loading process and matching process. First the source data gets loads into the landing tables are nothing but like source data for MDM. So the landing table, till landing tables, like data will be loaded by any ETL process or any real-time process, any application. So from landing tables onwards, like MDM comes into picture, and the data loads into the stage tables, from stage tables to the base object tables. And during this load process, we have match and merge process. So here matching and merge process are like will be configured depends upon the population which we are going to process. Suppose like for every country we have one population file. For US we have one population file, Japan, India, China, and Europe we have different set of population. There total 65 population files are there. So depends upon the business requirements, we may go for a single population file or multiple population files. It all depends upon the business requirements, like in a project requirements. So once we finalize with the population file, means like the data which we are going to process of which country, then here matching and merging process comes into picture. Again, the matching or two types. One is fuzzy match and the exact match. Fuzzy match is nothing but probabilistic matching methodology. As we know that even MDM handles the typo duplicates also. So based upon the configuration which we defined in the matching property, so MDM analyze the data and then it considers that all these three records as single record. So once it identifies that these three records are single records, then a matching process comes into picture. So we may get confused like why matching and why merging. So matching is nothing but we identify the potential match candidates. As I said, like the three records of my name. So it identifies these three records are potential match candidates, but it will once the match process happens, just it identifies like which are the records are matched. So once the matching process completes, then merge process will come into picture. Here the merge process is nothing but it consolidate the all the match like potential match candidate records. Consolidation nothing but like merges into single record. Even though you have data from different source systems, we merge that all the source system records into one single record. So again we may get doubt like, so the different source systems are there, so how can the merging happens? So from which source system we have to take a call of record? So like depends upon the source, we defined trust configuration. Suppose if we get data from CRM, we may configure that data coming from that CRM source has highest trustable data, whereas the data which we get from HR, maybe or orders or else like shipping, we may treat that data as a like less trustable compared to the CRM. So this type of trust configurations will be configured in during the merge process. So MDM will calculate the trust scores, depends upon the configuration which we perform in the merge process. And then once the trust scores calculated, so whichever the record has highest trust score, then that record gets consolidated into final one. So and one more thing, MDM, the consolidated records will not have null data. Suppose consider name should not be null or else contact number should not be null. So this type of validation rules also will be defined. Once the consolidation process completes, the data loads into the base object table. So the downstreams will not access the data directly from the base object tables. For that, in MDM, we have packages and views. Package is nothing but set of views which we define on a base object table as per our downstream requirements. Suppose if we consider any sales application team wants to access the data of customers, so for that sales application team, we configures packages on particular base object data set. They have only read access, and then the sales application team access the data, and then they consume for their business requirements. So like for each and every downstream applications, we configure the packages and views. So again, in packages, we have different like put package, display package. Put package is nothing but we can insert the data using applications also. So downstream applications, there may be like, suppose the, if any application want to change the data, then they can change the data using the package, put package. Or else if they want, if the application just consume our data, then we configure uh, display package. And so these are the data access use. And security access manager is nothing but like the security of the objects which we configure in our MDM. Here like security is nothing but like there are different roles exist within MDM, like data steward or business user or else developer. Depends upon the role, the user will get access. Along with that, suppose if any table has been created or a base object table, so if we secure that base object table, then users present within the MDM region, they can access that base object table. If you're not secure, like if you don't enable that secure one, so the developer or user who else create that base object table or any object, suppose package or view or any match rule which we defined, he only access to that object. So as a best practice, so anyone can, like anyone who develops any object within the MDM, he has to check the secure enable option. Then only others can see, like other developers or other users can see the objects. Even so, if we don't enable that secure check option, then even the downstream consumers also cannot, they can't access these objects. And this is a security access manager, and here we have different security enables or the like LDAP configuration, native configurations, as per the requirements. This will be handled by data like Informatica MDM administrators. Coming to the log files, here there are different log files exist, like as every application ETL or reporting, like they do have their one set of log files. Here same MDM has log files are there. As I said, like MDM architecture, it has application server, cleanse server, or the like. So we have cleanse server log files, application server log files. So here the log files of size is 5 MB. So if it cross 5 MB, then new log file will be automatically created as per the configurations which we done and application server. That configurations can be done in CMX server properties and standalone configuration .xml file. So for every configuration we have one XML file, as same as like Informatica ATL process. So depends upon the configurations, like how much the log files as it has to create, and which type of tools we have to access. So this type of the configurations will be done at XML files, and the log files will generate according to that one. And then the log files has details like, suppose data load happens on this day, so how many records has been inserted, how many records are rejected, how many records are updated, and how many records are merged. So this type of information, and like with which hub ORS it is connecting, all this type of log information will be recorded in the log files. Coming to the Informatica Data Director, it is an web interface tool. So in latest version, Informatica Data Director has been deprecated and provisioning tool came into picture. So here Informatica Data Director is, it's a web interface tool which will be used for business users. So every time business users will not come into the hub console and they cannot access the data. So to avoid that one, Informatica has provided Informatica Data Director, which is called as BDD or IDD, both are same. Here Informatica Data Director, we do some set of configurations. As we like, this Informatica Data Director works on top of Informatica MDM Hub configurations. Whatever we configure, the base object tables, packages, views will be used in Informatica Data Director. It just works on top of that. It's an web interface tool for Informatica MDM Hub. Here we can configure like which base object the business user has to access, and whether he has to like he has read only access, all this type of. So once we provide all these configurations in Informatica Data Director, so we deploy this like Informatica Data Director, and it generates a user link. So that link will be ultimately used by the business user. So in particular, suppose for an example, a user has business role access, so that users belongs to that business role access, they only can access that particular Informatica Data Director link which we created for particular application. Suppose we have customer data mart. For an example, we have customer data mart. So in that, like we have a party, contact, agreements, different types of base object entities are there. So suppose the business users want to access only the contacts information, so we develop particular application, Informatica Data Direct application on the contacts base object only. and then the users which belongs to the business users which belong to that role, business user role, they only can access the Informatica data director. It's simply like a web interface to see the data of business objects. And coming to the hierarchy management, here in hierarchy management we configure the relationships of any customer or products. Suppose consider the customer, so customer do have some holding some products, so how he related to that products, like suppose he related to a product of life insurance or annuities, and at the same time like how the customer related to the party address, whether it is an household address or else like an individual member address. This type of relationships we can define at hierarchy management level. So hierarchy management set of configurations are there for relationships, entity and entity base objects. So once we configure in MDM Hub console, so based upon top of that we configure these hierarchy relationships, and that relationship stores in some meta reference repository base object tables, and their relationship stores in that repository or pivot tables. And whenever we search for a customer, so it displays the entire relationship, like how the customer related to the products within the organization, including their address, products, the hierarchy level of a customer. If he has any like households information like child records, even that information also will be displayed. And coming to the SIF is nothing but like services integrated framework, which is a name like a Java application or XML application. Mostly people use SOAP UI. Here, suppose if we want to perform any operations on hub, so suppose deletion operation or merge operations manually, we cannot directly go into the MDM Hub tool and perform the manual process. So it may lead to the data corruption. So to avoid that one, we have SIF, Services Integrated Framework tool, which is an application, XML application, Java application, which connects to the Informatica Hub, MDM Hub. So again, it depends upon the hub configurations only. So here we can perform the deletion operation, merge operation, match operation, and even we can go for search operation. And even we can insert a data like put operation, cleanse put operations. This type of operations are there. Like once we get into the like into the course content, then we can go for detail. And we provide practice tests and interview questions. I have a lot of interview questions like which I have interview questions with myself. Like when I started learning, I have recorded all the interview questions, like which like even the Mind Magic also will provide a lot of like we conduct mock interviews, and we conduct like we provide project like practice projects to work on MDM. And here as part of the course we provide what is master data, like master, as I said, like it's in a single version of truth or else consolidation record or a golden record. So like even if we have different source systems and the same customer data comes from different source systems, and ultimately we make those records into a single version of truth. And why is MDM important? Like it reduces the cost of an organization. Suppose for an example, take any organization like an insurance or else like a retail. Consider retail. So in retail we have different the organization's different products. The products will be handled by different vendors, and moreover same product exist with different versions. So it will be very hard to business management team or decision team to take a call like why we have the products of same like different products like of same purpose. So it's unnecessarily like wasting money on the development of products. Like instead of using single product, we have different products. So to identify all those drawbacks of the products, or else I can like any inconsistent products. So by using MDM application, we can identify and we can consolidate the products. So it will be easy for any business management team to take a call, like which product from which product they are making more profit, and from which product they are making less profit, or they are losing the money. So if we have single source of truth on products, even consider the customers also. Suppose the customer like customer holding different products, and the like within the organization, suppose take insurance, like in insurance we have life insurance, term policy, annuities, and then mutual funds, like even mutual funds like ULIPs, or there like different types of products the customer is holding, and he has different sets of data set. Like suppose 5 years back a customer took an insurance product, now he took an another product like ULIPs. So in this 5 years of span, he may change his address or his contact address, like contact number. So the data present in the old system, so it's an outdated, whereas the data present in the new system, it's an more accurate one. So if we don't have the single version of truth of this customer, so it will be very hard to approach the customer due to the difference in contact address and mailing address. So ultimately it leads to the like a losing of money. So for the same customer, they have to approach multiple times, so we can avoid this one. And this is why like MDM plays an vital role in organization to reduce the unnecessary investment. And coming to the architecture of MDM project, as I said that MDM alone will not work. So before implementing the MDM, we should have proper data quality check, and then proper set of data policies or rules, and then all these things should be governed by the data governance team, and MDM is part of that. So here the MDM part is like it provides the data consistency, but it will not check on the data quality. So once if the data quality is more, then the byproduct, then the product then the MDM result set will be more accurate, like the data consistency will be more accurate. So here to implement an MDM solution, we should have the proper data rules configured, like data quality check should be happened before entering into the MDM solution. And then for MDM, like to load data into the MDM project, MDM solution, we should have one applications like ETL or any CRM application, or else any real-time ingestion application like Kafka. So all these things are involved in MDM solution implementation. So in MDM, like we have different applications are there, like within the MDM application, we have application server, a cleanse server, which runs this cleanse server runs on application server. Application server is nothing but a server like a JBoss, or else IBM WebSphere applications. So this MDM application hosts on top of the application server like JBoss or IBM WebSphere, and then this application server serves the request for MDM. Suppose different applications want to access the MDM hub, so the application server serves the request. And what the cleanse server do is like it performs the matching, merging process and data cleaning process. Like even within MDM, we can go for MDM data cleansing operations, but to avoid the like it adds a load to the MDM. So like mostly we avoid the data cleansing operation within MDM. So for that we use either data quality application or else ETL application to standardize the data. And along with that, so before passing the data into MDM, we standardize the addresses also using different address doctor or smart state application. All it depends upon the business requirement. So once the data will be standardized, then only the data pass into the MDM application, then the matching and merging process will occur. During the course contents, I have explained MDM data process flow, like how the data process flow, like it like data gets from external applications to the landing tables, and then landing tables to the stage tables, from the stage tables to the base object tables, data loads, and then matching and merging process will happen, and then the data consolidates into the base object table. And coming to the data model, here every MDM application we have one set of data model. spotting data model or any product data model. So here we define the relationship between the tables, one-on-one relationship, one-to-many or many-to-many relationships, and parent-child relationship using foreign key relationships. All this will be configured in this data model. It's an schema which we define in MDM. Yeah, as part of course contents, like we provide PPTs, links, documents, materials, and the required text, web links, or else any the material which we have for MDM implementation. Here the projects we provide is a party data master and master data management implementation. So here in party data master project, like we have data of stock brokerage advisors, and in integrated master data management we have the data of customers of an organization. So here coming to the party data master, so every customer has some brokerage contact, like asset investors, so we call them as a prospectors. So like to identify the to make all these prospectors we store in centralized data repository, and then it will be easy for the business team or reporting team to identify the brokerage account advisors. And same as for IMDM integrated master data management. Here also, like we have to identify the customers and how he related to the products within the organization. And here the data consumed by the reporting team and other business teams. So reporting team like draws the reports, like how the customer behavior pattern, like which type of products the customers are choosing as part of the time duration. And these things will be, I can say, like identified by using this data set. So as part of the lab setup, we should have a high speed internet or desktop and including desktop or laptop, and the system requirements are Windows 7 and above, of 500 GB hard disk. Memory should be 16 GB. Even 12 GB will work, but we should have SSD hard disk. If we have SATA serial hard disk, then we should have a 16 GB RAM and CPU 4 cores. Like nowadays, all the laptops or desktops coming with CPU 4 cores. So in terms of CPU, we will not face any issue. So like all we have is like memory should be 16 GB. Or if we have SSD, then 12 GB also will work. After completion of course, we conduct mock interviews to the participants. We evaluate them before applying job, and we provide the knowledge assistance to them also, like in case they are lagging in any of the concepts. Certifications, like we provide course completion certificate. If you have any questions, like you can write email to this info. Thank you.